Okay, let's dive straight into this explainer. Today, we're tracking the phenomenal journey of one of football's absolute most relentless competitors. We're talking about a career spanning literally decades, one that's defined by shattered records, an insatiable hunger to win, and honestly, a real knack for producing pure magic on the pitch.
You know, we're skipping the usual boring introductions today to drop you right into the electric atmosphere of his early days. Just listen to this awestruck commentary. Is there anything this man can't do? That was exactly the sentiment echoing through stadiums and living rooms everywhere when a young Cristiano Ronaldo first started taking the sport by storm.
Section 1. The Manchester United Era. A star is born in England. Looking at his rapid evolution at Manchester United, it was just, wow, something to behold. He arrives as this tricky winger, right? Instantly turning heads with his great feet. But the real game changer happened when he struck up a lethal partnership with Wayne Rooney. Rooney would whip in the perfect ball, and Ronaldo, he'd just find the net. Before long, he evolved way past being just a flashy prospect into a devastating primary goal scorer, unleashing these stunning free kicks that literally left top-tier goalkeepers completely stranded. And it was this sheer, undeniable genius on the pitch that constantly left fans and seasoned commentators totally speechless. You could hear the pure disbelief in the broadcasts, the utter awe when he'd smash the ball from a ridiculous distance or somehow score from an impossible angle. Moving on to Section 2, the 2008 European Cup Final, high drama in Moscow.
Now, the tension of this match was absolutely palpable. It started like a dream when Ronaldo produced the goods with a brilliant towering header to give United the lead. But hey, football is wildly unpredictable, right? Frank Lampard equalizes against the run of play right at the end of the first half. Throw in a red card for Didier Drogba, and suddenly this monumental clash just spirals into a chaotic, nerve-wracking stalemate that's destined for a penalty shootout. You can almost feel the agonizing swings of this shootout. First, there's unimaginable despair as Ronaldo, of all people, does this little stutter step and is totally denied by Petr Cech. But wait. Then Chelsea's captain, John Terry, famously loses his footing and misses his golden chance to win the whole thing. United is suddenly back from the dead. And finally, Edwin van der Sar pulls off a miracle, saving Nicolas Anelka's shot.
So, despite the brief heartbreak of his penalty miss, Ronaldo's opening goal really laid the foundation when it mattered most. It helped Manchester United secure a massive historic milestone, champions of Europe once again. And it was a deeply emotional victory, coming exactly 50 years after the Munich air disaster. Now, beneath all these individual triumphs, there was this inescapable undertone of an epic rivalry. While Ronaldo was out there cementing his legacy with 40-yard screamers and absolutely sensational Champions League overhead kicks, Lionel Messi was doing his thing on the other side, consistently punishing English clubs and sustaining his own enduring brilliance. They were just pushing each other, year after year, dominating the European stage in a way we had literally never seen before.
And as his club career progressed, his flair for the dramatic only grew. When his teams desperately needed a lifeline, he provided absolute moments of magic. It firmly established a legacy that has so many fans and commentators rightfully calling him the undisputed greatest in the history of the Champions League.
Which brings us to Section 3. Triumph with Team Portugal, the international passion.
This part of the story really highlights his role as an absolute international talisman. Whether he was killing the Swedish dream with a ruthless clutch hat trick when everything was on the line, or linking up flawlessly with Nani and Ricardo Quaresma, he was constantly putting the entire weight of his nation right on his shoulders. Time and time again, he dragged his country back from the brink, pushing them right to the verge of glory.
Whether it was those grueling qualifying campaigns or the incredibly high stakes of major tournaments, he repeatedly proved that his drive for international success was just unmatched. He always found a way to reclaim his stage, standing head and shoulders above the rest whenever his country called on him. And finally, Section 4, the historic 900th goal, a milestone unmatched.
Now this play, it was pure poetry in motion. Nuno Mendes whips in a perfect cross, and guess who's there? Ronaldo. Exactly where he needs to be, striking the ball to secure yet another historic milestone. It's a true testament to his world-class positioning and that relentless hunger we keep talking about. It proves that even in the much later stages of his career, his instincts are still razor-sharp. And fittingly enough, he achieved it wearing the colors of his beloved country.
900. Just think about that number for a second. In a sport where physical peaks are usually a flash in the pan, scoring 900 career goals for club and country across several decades, that is an achievement of pure, unfathomable dedication. It requires a level of discipline and consistency that is honestly almost impossible to wrap your head around. And what brilliantly illustrates the raw emotion behind this milestone is the reaction. This wasn't just another stat on a spreadsheet for him. Achieving this feat on Portuguese soil literally brought him to tears. It brought his incredible globe-trotting journey full circle, right back to his homeland where that initial spark of greatness first ignited. So, it leaves us with a pretty profound thought to end our explainer on. Is it even possible for another athlete to replicate this decades-long grip on football history? When you step back and look at the sheer volume of goals, the dramatic finals, and the relentless drive that simply never faded, you really have to wonder, will we ever witness this level of sustained greatness again? Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive. Catch you next time.